Welcome to GBALL VISION, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic day today. We have the Null Knives Voodoo in front of us here today, and we're going to be taking an in-depth look at this guy and deciding what makes it so great or not so great and why. Now, this is the second model from Null Knives that I own. He has two more in the works that are coming very soon, the Grace and then the Raikou. I look forward to both of those coming out and eventually getting one of those. But let's jump into this guy here. So with this particular version, there was at least 4 versions total, at least 4 that I know of, and there might have been some other exclusives or special editions, but this is the one that I wanted to get. You have the acid washed finish on the blade, and the only other acid washed finish blade that I own out of all the knives I have is another Null Knives, the Raiden. I absolutely love this finish. It has its own unique look over anything else, and just going off of the Raiden, it takes wear and use extremely well, just because of the way this is coated and tumbled and washed. It looks awesome, and with use, you know, you really do not pick up much in the way of damage to the finish. I love the blade shape. I love how you have this little tail coming out to the tip here, giving you a nice pokey tip. M390 on the blade steel. This is RIA OEM'd. You have a fuller and a thumb disc, or a triangular thumb disc, however you want to say that. They work extremely well. Typically, I'm not a big fan of stepping away from a standard stepped thumb stud or templed thumb stud, but in this case, these things work so well. I almost prefer these over a really good thumb stud. These work so good. The fuller works amazing for all the opening methods, and then the way this is designed and jimped, you can front flip this thing. I don't know that it's really meant to be front flipped, but you can front flip it. You just have to muster up the courage, you know, get the thumb strength, get the finger strength. My finger is tore up in there and is pretty resilient when it comes to, so if you have one of these, try front flipping it with the rollover and see how you make out. But this one, I absolutely love it. The blue micarta, the bead blasted tumbled titanium bolsters, the stone washed tumbled titanium clip, the awesome backspacer with these little milling patterns done in it. This thing is a true work of art. Null Knives has, when I got the Raiden, I had my hopes high and I wasn't sure what to expect, but that knife is absolutely outstanding, and that's when I knew that I wanted to try one of these. I had missed on this knife for well over a year, and finally I was like, I need to try to get one, and I made it a mission to pick one of these up, and I am so glad that I did. This is in the upper echelon of my favorite knives of all time, and for a bunch of different reasons. The awesome blade shape, the incredibly good ergos on this thing, and you know, you feel like you have a nice sturdy built knife in your hand when you are holding this in the choked up spot, because you have a 50-50 area here, jimping going into this harpoon. It makes gripping this knife and using this knife just extremely useful. And then this little swedge area here going to the tip makes it perfect for an index style grip and cut. I love that. It's probably my favorite grip of all time. just for controlled and clean cuts. It works so well, so that was a good move. Now, I will have to say, you might have to have, if you have smaller hands, it's probably going to be a little tougher to manage this grip. You know, you might be just back here somewhere. But if you have the right size hands, you definitely can get up there and use that area. As far as the bolster lock and the lock area, exceptionally well done. You have a beautiful chamfer there. The action is just stupid good. This thing thwacks out with authority, and then on the close, it'll drop to your thumb, and then you have a nice controlled close. I have not taken this apart. I have not oiled it. I have not done anything to this except carry and flip it. Came perfectly centered. Lockup was nice and solid at like 25-30%. There's absolutely no movement side to side, up or down. And there's a good, you know, the reason that these are so popular is because they are so damn good. There's a reason they sell out instantly. It's because they are that good. I've had a lot of people ask me, you know, if these were worth picking up, if they were worth getting, what I thought of it, and all that sort of thing. And I've noticed a huge uptick in Voodoo like searches and whatnot. And I only have an unboxing up on the channel of this knife, and then I have it in with maybe one other batch of knives in a video. And I wanted to get the overview on this done because I absolutely love this knife, and it is a hot commodity right now. Why don't we go ahead and get a spec check, just a quick one on this. So usable edge is going to be, well, it's about 3 3/8. Yeah, 3 3/8, and then you're at like 3 3/4 from this tip to here, and then from here it's a little shy of 3 3/4 there, and then 8 1/4 to your tip down there. So it is right in my wheelhouse for the perfect size. Let's see what kind of weight we have on this thing. So under 4 ounces, considerably light to me. You know, I consider under 4 ounces pretty light. Anything under 2 ounces or 2.5 ounces is extremely light. You know, and then when you get down to like 1.5, 2 ounces, that just feels like you don't have anything in your hand, basically. You know, the Osborne, the Bug Out, and carbon fiber. Why don't we go ahead and, well, while we have it here and I'm thinking about it, let's check the blade stock. So about 135, could be 130. Might be 130, 135. Ooh, look at that. That's coming down around 10 thousandths right there. That bad boy comes down nice and thin. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let's check the handle. So it's a little, I usually say a half is like average. So it's a little bigger than average, which is perfectly fine with me. I don't mind a little thicker of a handle whatsoever, not even a little bit. Why don't we check the width of this guy? So up here at the top, you're at like 1.3. Down here, about 1.0. So this is not going to be something that is very hard to carry in your pocket. It is The tallest part is up here. That'll be in the deepest part of your pocket. I think it's going to carry very well for most people. I have not had a single issue with this knife as concerning carrying it. It is going to be just a touch thicker than like the Paramilitary 3 or 2, the Para 3. Length and width, it's going to be more of a Paramilitary 2 type size, but your Paramilitary 2 is going to be a little bit taller, and that is not hard to carry by any means. I have no issues carrying a Paramilitary 2, and this is even shorter than that. So absolutely no issues with carryability. I think it carries very good, and it's been an absolute pleasure to handle and carry this knife. I'm so glad that I was able to track one down and get the exact one that I wanted. There it is up against the Para 3 and the PM2. Pretty close to the Paramilitary 2 size. How about the Skelton and Tuya Caladan? That is also going to be a nice close representation of size there. How about the new Miguron Centurion? A little bit bigger than that guy there. How about the TRM Neutron 2? And the Civivi Vision FG, which is a nice representation of kind of what this knife is like. The blade shape, kind of similar in a sense, not quite exactly the same. And one that I really want to put up against this one. This is one of my favorite knives of all time. And so is this one now. The Null Knives Raiden. It's a little bit bigger than the Raiden. And they are both just spectacular, guys. Just truly great designs. Very well built. It's been a pleasure to have both of these knives. And I'm so glad that I was able to snag this, because it made me realize how great of a designer over there at Null Knives, and it opened my eyes to the Voodoo and why that one was so popular. He's got a hell of a catalog of knives on his hands, and he's got a couple more that are coming out that just look top notch. This is some of the best design work and builds that I have ever handled. It's in the top tier, no question about it. I've handled well over 400 knives easily at this point. And this is definitely, these are up there as far as production knives go, and hell, as far as custom knives go, these are up in the top tier, no question. And that's why they sell out routinely. The Raidens do as well. These were gone in like 8 seconds. The day I ordered these, or something insane like that. Got the exact one that I wanted, the blue with the acid washed, and I went the same way with this one, the blue with the acid washed. Guys, there's not much more to say about this knife other than if you can find one of these, I would strongly recommend picking one up. Not only, for collectors, definitely. For something that's going to be a useful EDC knife, without question. It's also going to do very good at, work type tasks as well. It's just so well done, so well built. Like I said, there's not much more to say. This thing is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. I put this up in my favorite line of knives, like with EMP, EDC, and Vero. You know, I put this knife up there with those, and I have no qualms about it. And I will definitely be hunting down the next one, the Null Knives Grace, so I can someday give that to my daughter. But guys, as far as aesthetics goes, I mean, look at this thing. It's absolutely beautiful. Materials, exceptional. The ergonomics is just fantastic. The action is incredible. The only thing that I would change on this whole knife has nothing to do with the knife. I would have preferred like S90V or LMAX, but that is kind of a moot point. That's just because M390's everywhere, but that's it, guys. That is the only thing that I would prefer to see, would be just S90 or LMAX or something like that. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with M390. Especially if it's heat treated fairly well. But that'll wrap it up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this guy. Do you have one? Do you plan on getting one? I highly recommend them, guys. If you're new, hit the subscribe button down below, because we have tons more coming down the pipe. I would love to have you here. I'm going to throw up 2 new videos, and you should definitely go and check them out. I will catch you on the next one.